So I've only posted one video so far, and the feedback I got was fabulous. It was amazing, so helpful. I appreciate everyone that texted me and sent me messages and gave me their feedback. And I haven't gotten any comments yet, but I'm sure maybe those will start rolling in eventually. But a couple people asked me through a chat site that I'm in that they were interested in seeing the actual mixing process. So I completely cut that out of the video because who wants to watch me stir paint for an hour, I thought. So I just cut that completely out. But it is a necessary, important piece. I can speed through the process, but I thought I would just do one short video on my mixing process, which is very, very similar to most artists out there. There's tons of videos out there. Everyone has their own style, their own recipe, and the ways of doing things, but I'll just go through step by step and explain how I do it. And maybe it's maybe there's some tips in there that you'd like to try for yourself that are different that you haven't tried or explored, or maybe you're a beginner and you've never done this before and you like my techniques. You can try to replicate it, copy it, or put your own spin on it. If you come up with different ways of doing it and made it better, please let me know, because I'm always open to new ideas and trying different things and experimenting all the time. So let's get started. I think cups are super important. I tend to learn as I go, and I've wasted a ton of paint in the process of exploring and experimenting and trying new things, that eventually you come to a point where, oh, this is working so much better than the way I was doing it before. I'll watch other videos from other artists and learn how to do things a different way. And the key is to be open-minded, you know, always open to learning new things. You're damned if you do, if you just think that you've got it down and you're perfect at what you do and there's nothing else to learn. You're only putting up your own roadblock. So that's my philosophy. If you're always open and willing to learn new things, try new things, then you'll only succeed and get better and grow as you learn. So as I was saying, I've wasted a lot of paint. And it was mostly due to just using bad cups. So lots of cups have these indentations, lines and stuff. And so when you pour, the paint gets stuck on them and it doesn't always all come out, doesn't flow out completely. One artist likes to spray silicone in their cups and wipe it down, and the paint drips out much faster, and you get most of the paint out of your cups, which is a great technique. I've tried that too, but sometimes in your paintings you'll get tiny little bubbles or cells, tiny little cells that are hard to see, but they're there, and that's from having too much silicone in your paint. So I don't always use the silicone method. Sometimes I'll just use it in my my flipping cup, but I don't use it in my individual paint cups. I also will use Flood Floetrol. If I pour that in first, that typically helps get most of the paint out of the cup. Also, it's the style cup you use. So I use my kids' little Play-Doh cups. These are nice because they're smooth. There's no ribs or lines going through the cup. It's completely smooth. So the paint's not going to get caught on any of the ribs, ribbing, or whatever you call it. I don't know. Tell me what it's called. I don't know. Those little lines that go, indentations through the cup. So these are nice and smooth Play-Doh cups. They're reusable. I wash them, reuse them all the time. Color Pour. It's a new brand company that makes pouring cups. These are awesome because it has measuring on both sides here, milliliters and ounces. So if you're a beginner and you can't just eyeball your paints, it's nice to be able to calculate your ounces and your milliliters if you're measuring per volume. So those are fun. I like these, they're nice and smooth, so all your paint's gonna come out. And my very, very favorite, similar to the color pour cups, having these ball cups. They're for canning, your soups and vegetables and things like that. These are measurable. They have lines, and you can use these lines to measure your paints. The best thing about these is they come with lids. So if you like the color you created, and you don't use it all the first sitting or your first session with it, you just close it up, save it for later. It's not going to go bad. So, and Ball makes several different sizes. This is a 16 ounce, and this is the 8 ounce cup, which I use 8 ounces and 6 ounce cups most of the time. And they come in colorful tops. So the one thing you want to remember about the Ball cups, though, you don't want to twist the caps on so tight that you're wrenching it, because after wrenching it for a long time, you can crack the top. So don't do that. See? And another great thing I almost forgot is that they are dishwasher safe. So that's another bonus, because if you're going to use cups that are reusable, you want to be able to wash them really well and quickly. And you don't want to be spending most of your time washing dishes. Sometimes I just grab a big bucket, I fill it with the hose outside, and I pour all my messy tools and cups in there, and I just soak them overnight. By morning, all the paint just comes right off. I'm just peeling it off, scrub them a little bit, and rinse them off, and they're good to go. Clean. Ready to use again. So waste not, if you can help it. Try not to throw all that plastic stuff into our landfills. Try to be courteous of our Mother Earth, Mother Nature. There's just so much junk and garbage people throw away nowadays, right? So if you can reuse things, try to do that as much as possible, especially when you're doing a hobby like this, because when I was just using flip cups all the time, I threw away a lot because they get to be a pain in the butt to clean, and most of the time this paint does not come off. And you don't want to use dirty cups for another session, because it could mess up the color of your paint that you're working with. It can create lumps and bumps in your painting, and if you want something that's going to lay out nice and smooth and flat, those lumps and bumps can ruin an entire painting. I know, because I've done it a lot. So learn as we go. Learn by mistake. It happens. No one's perfect. So anyway, let's get started on mixing some paints.